Hello students, welcome back. So we were talking about the physical quantities. Okay, and we have also seen that how to convert one set of system of units into the another set. Today we'll see measurement in chemistry. Okay. So measurement in chemistry depends upon two factors. Okay, because while working in laboratory we need to convert or we need to measure so many things, like we need to measure the volume, we need to measure the mass. Okay, so for that you can say two things are required. If we are like, are we reporting the exact result, or we are doing something wrong, and what about the apparatus that we are using? Okay, so that's why measurement in chemistry is very important. It depends upon two things. One is the skills of the worker, and the second is working of the instrument. Okay, skills of the worker, whosoever is working in the lab, that is, so are like how the person is operating the instrument, that also is required. Otherwise, like if we are doing some experiments, sometimes our reading doesn't match with the exact one. It means we are doing something wrong, error is coming. Okay, so that's why. And then how the instrument, what the instrument is correct, its least count is proper or not, and everything is right or set or not in the particular instrument. Okay, for example, suppose if we want to measure the length of the rod, this is our physics also, if we want to measure the length of the rod, then first we'll use the meter scale. Okay, example, with the help of meter scale, length of the rod is measured. Okay, fine. Let's say 3 persons are there, they have reported the results, and the meter scale, we know the least count of the scale, that is least count. All of you know how to calculate least count for a particular instrument, you have studied in physics. That is range divided by total number of divisions. Okay, range divided by total number of divisions. In this way you can calculate the least count. Suppose we have taken the small scale, in that is a 15 centimeter. Okay, so range is 15 and number of divisions between that it's I think 150 total. Okay, so 0.1 centimeter is the least count of that scale. Fine. So let's say person A has reported the result 8.1 centimeter, B has reported 8.2 centimeter, and C has reported 8.3 centimeter. Now let's see who has measured the length of the rod or the length of the wire. With these two terms are there that are associated with this measurement. One is precision and one is accuracy. Okay, so these are the two important terms that are related to the measurement part. Fine. So let's define these terms and then we'll get back to the example, because this example is required for the explanation of these two terms. Okay, so let's see. So if I suppose if the exact value of the meter rod, exact length of the meter rod is 8.2 centimeter. Fine. So accordingly, if I'll ask that who has reported the correct result out of A, B and C, then your answer will be very much that B has measured the correct length of the rod. But what about A and C? They are also nearby to it. Are they completely wrong? So let's see what's the meaning of these terms. Fine. So first is precision. Precision means that how closely the individual values they agree with each other. Okay. how closely the individual values agree with each other. And accuracy means agreement of a particular value with a true value. Is it match? Or you can say that that agreement of the experimental value with the exact or the true value. Agreement of a particular value with the exact, with the true value. Okay. So if we want to answer this question now, precision means ki how the values are closely related, how they are agree with each other, how they are closely related with each other. Okay, and with that the accurate one, true value. Fine. And accuracy, agreement of a particular value with the true value. It is in agreement with the true value. Okay. So let's see. So we can say that now with the help of these definition, we can say that B has reported the result. So this is accurate. B is more accurate. B is accurate. But what about A and C? Can we say that A and B are precise because they are very much closer to the exact value. So their values are in agreement with each other. They're not like, it's not like that 8.5 is there or 8.8. So that is the wrong one. But their values are in agreement. If he has reported 8.1, he has reported 8.3. So it means it's fine. So you can say that B is accurate, but A and C, they are precise. So this is the meaning. Okay. Now let's say the length of the rod is not 8.2 centimeter. Okay. So here, okay, before this, let's see one more thing, that we are discussing the first part, that the measurement, it depends upon the skill of the person. So here it means the person has not correctly measured the value of the meter rod with the help of meter scale, because they all have used the scale only. No one has used any other instrument. So instrument is same here. So here is error is due to the human being or the skill of the person. Fine. So he has not operated the scale properly. So here instrument is not having any role. So it's the first factor that we are discussing. So that's why he is accurate, but they are precise. Okay. Now let's consider the length of the meter rod is not 8.2 centimeter. Let's say it is 8.24. Fine. Okay. So but the least count of the scale is 0.1 centimeter only. So now the scale or the instrument will introduce error. Okay, because value is not 8.2, it's 8.24. It means we need to move towards another instrument. Okay, so let's consider. Now let's calculate with the help of another instrument, that is vernier calipers. This you have used in physics. Okay, this is the physics part you will be using in 11th standard. You will be measuring the length of the wire with the help of vernier calipers. If not that, then you will be using the screw gauge. Again, it is having the different least count. So vernier calipers used for measuring the length only. Caliper and then screw gauge. Okay, so this is, it's having least count 0.01 centimeter. It is having 0.001 centimeter. So if the length of the rod is 8.24 centimeters, then vernier caliper can correctly report the result. So it means instrument can also introduce the error. Okay, so two types you can say error can be from two sources. One is from the skill of the person, who is how it is operating, and the second from the instrument. Okay, so this is about this. Now whenever like we are reporting any result, let's say if I am saying 8.24 centimeter. Okay, so in this we have to check whether is there any uncertainty in the digits. Are all the digits are certain? Is there any digit which is uncertain? Fine. So let's see uncertainty in digits, because the last digit always introduce last digit is always differ by plus minus 1. There is a variation of plus minus 1. Okay, last one, whatever the last digit is there. So uncertainty in digits, that is, are significant figures. Significant figures. Now we'll see what are significant figures. Okay, so significant figures, significant means important. How many are significant? Important one. Okay, so significant figures are defined as the total number of digits present in a number, including the last digit, are known as significant figures or significant digits. That is the total number of digits in a number including the last digit whose value is uncertain. Okay, you can measure here whose value is uncertain. For example, let's consider one number, say 11.64. Okay, so here these three digits, if I write like this, 1164, these three digits, these are certain, but this is uncertain. Why uncertain? Because here it can be 5 also, it can be 3 also, so that's why it's differ by plus minus 1. Okay, differ by plus minus 1, so it is always uncertain. Why uncertain we are saying? Because it depends on the instrument, least count of the instrument, which instrument we are using. Suppose if the previous example, if we see, if we have using the scale, but the exact length of the wire is 8.24, so it means that is not the, it means the last digit is uncertain in that case. But so that's why we are introducing the concept of significant figures. Okay, uncertainty in digits. So what are significant figures here? That is the total number of digits present in a number including the last digit, that is a certain one, uncertain one. So you can say that certain plus uncertain digits are significant figures. Now how to determine or how to report the significant figures in a given number? So while reporting the results of significant figures in a particular number, there are some rules how to decide how many significant figures are there. So certain rules has to be followed. So let's see all the rules one by one. Okay, so let's see the rules. So significant figures is equal to what? Certain digits plus last digit. Okay, now rules for predicting the number of significant figures in the given number. So first rule is as follows, that all non-zero digits are significant. First rule, all non-zero digits are significant. For example, let's say 414.4, 321.2, 21.1. Okay, so here all are non-zero digits, so they all are significant. Okay, so 414, that's why we are saying certain digits plus last digit, all are significant. So here 4 significant figures, here also 4, here 3 significant figures. Fine. Next rule. Now here keep one point in mind, that decimal will not count towards a significant figure. Okay, decimal should not be counted. counted towards SF. Okay. Then zeros between the non-zero digits are significant. For example, 4004, 201, 90005. So all these are significant. Here 4 significant figures, here 3, here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 significant figures. So they are present in between the non-zero digits. These are non-zero, so zeros present in between the non-zero digits are significant. Okay, let's see the next rule. Zeros present to the left of the first non-zero digits are not significant. Third rule is zeros present to the left. All the rules are very important. Then only you can count the number of significant figures, otherwise not. Present to the left of the first non-zero digit. Zeros present to the left of the first non-zero digit are not significant. For example, 0.01, 0.0002, this is the example, 0.00009. Okay, because these zeros, they are just only indicating the position of the decimal place. Okay, they are not count. That's why they are not significant, because these zeros only indicates the position of decimal places. Okay, so here only one significant figure, here also only one. Okay, so don't count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, it's not significant. Okay, also it is 1. For example, if I say 1.0022, so here 2 significant figures like this. Okay, so these are the rules, and other rules are also there. So just go through the rules, the 3 rules that we have seen. Okay, so first is that all non-zero digits are significant. Second, zeros between the two non-zero digits, they are significant. Then zeros present to the left of the first non-zero digits, they are not significant because they are only representing the position of the decimal places. Okay, only the position. We'll see the next rule now. The zeros which are present to the right of the decimal places, they are significant. Let's see why. Okay, so let's see the zeros present fourth rule. Zeros present to the right of decimal places are significant. Why they are significant? Because they represents the least count of the instrument. For example, let's say 11.2, 11.24, 11.243. So here 3 significant figures. Okay, 0 to we have not written here. Okay, let's say it is 0, 0.0, 0.00. So here 4 significant figures, here 5 significant figures. So these zeros, they represent the, first of all, they are after the non-zero digit, and their zeros represents the least count of the instrument. Fine, like say it's 0.1, then up to 2 decimal places 0.01, 3 decimal places 0.001, and so on. So these are significant. Then let's see the next one. If the number ends in, suppose if the number ends in zeros, rule 5. If a number ends in zeros, but zeros are not right of the decimal place, then they may or may not be significant. For example, let's say 19500. Okay, this is a number, zeros are there but not to the right of the decimal place. So these zeros may be or may not be significant. Fine, so this number can have 3, 4 and 5 significant figures. This can be 3, 4 and 5 significant figures. Now this ambiguity will be removed by scientific notation, by writing the number in scientific notation. Okay, so let's see. So this we'll see later on. Let's see the next rule. Next rule is sixth one, that counting objects have infinite number of significant figures. That is, for example, if I am saying 20 balls, okay, 30 pens, object is mentioned, so they are having infinite significant figures, because you can put number of zeros, put decimal number of zeros, so that's why they are infinite. Okay, counting number of objects have infinite significant figures. Next is terminal zeros are not significant. For example, if 100 is there, so only one significant figure. But if it is like this, 100 point, it means after this also 0 is there, so this is having 3 significant figures. Okay, it means after this something has to be there, 100.00, so 5 significant figures like this. So this is all about the rules. Okay, so all the rules are important and you have to apply the rules for predicting or for determining the number of significant figures. Now let's remove that ambiguity, that if the number ends in zeros but not to the right of the decimal place, so that may or may not be significant. So we'll see the scientific notation, how to write the number in scientific notation. Okay, scientific notation. Scientific notation means we can represent a particular number in scientific form, that is your n into 10 to the power n. Okay, write the given number in 10 to the n into 10 to the power n. Okay, where n is your number with a single non-zero digit. This is n. Capital N is a number with a single non-zero digit present to the left of the decimal place. And here 10 to the power n is the exponent. That can either be positive or negative or 0. Okay. So exponent, when n will be positive, it means decimal has to move to left. If n is negative, it means decimal has to move towards right. Okay. So this is how we will represent the number. So let's see this, and then we will represent the number, any number, with the help of this scientific notation. So let's write that particular number to remove that ambiguity whether it is having significant figures or not. So 17500, write in scientific notation 1.75 into so we are moving towards 1, 2, 3, 4 left. So 10 to the power left means positive 4. Fine. So here how many significant figures? 1, 2, 3. 3 significant figures. If I write in this number, suppose if it is not in the form of scientific notation, it can be, why we were saying it's 3, 4 or 5. 17.5, 10 to the power 3. 175, 10 to the power 2. So that's why 2, 3, 4. 2, sorry. That's why here it's 3 significant figures are coming. Okay, if I write in this form 1.750, 10 to the power 3, 1.75 this is C. So it is having 3 significant figures. Fine. Now you just look at the Avogadro's number. This is also in the scientific notation. 6.022 into 10 to the power 23. How many significant figures? 4 significant figures. Similarly, Planck constant is there. All the constant, you just find all they are in the scientific notation. Into 10 to the power minus 34 joules second. How many? 4 significant figures. So to represent a particular number in scientific notation is very, very important. Fine. So next are the rules for the significant figures, that how to add and subtract. Then also we have to keep in mind the rules. Okay. So this is all about significant figures. Fine. Next we'll see in the next class. Okay. I hope I am clear till here. Okay. Till then, thank you.